bounce back here, game number 3?
Pretty much 3/4 of the way through this qualifier. So 3 games now left, and pressure continues to mount as we move in. We still have one more Miramar that we're going to be making our way through, and Playing Path was mean into something much nicer. We'll have to see that. Hopefully we're going to get something fair for everyone.
Well, it's not the worst, it's not the best. It's a little bit shifted down towards the east and the south. Right over El Azahar there is going to make its way directly towards the prison. So, yeah, it's fine. You know what? I'll call this fine. It's basically good.
Oh, no. Somebody can't drop in Campo Militar. I'm so sad.
Well, they might. Campo Militar is Bagel Pod's alternate drop spot, so they might be going for it.
Make the stretch up there. So, it's always good to see sections of the map not getting love. That's why I always joke about, like, the Trailer Park and Oasis games. Variants is the spice of life, you know what I mean?
They're absolutely beautiful.
Everybody gets excited about island games. I just want variants.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, Alcantara, for example, is for all intents and purposes an island. As far as like circles go on this map, they can end there. It is possible, but you'll basically know off of Circle 1, actually, because it has to be so hard shifted to the north and the west. Same thing with the trailer park. Usually that first circle is pretty indicative that it's going to be somewhere far west on that kind of loop that runs on the western coast. So our back-to-back game winners here, the Guangdong Freaks, just a monumental day, a historic day potentially for them to get them into the grand finals, a team that seemingly just at least finds their way into these big events, into the finals. They've done it time and time again at previous globals. Again, dominant in the PWS, the PCSs, they've been okay. They've been never great. So maybe this is their moment to really kind of turn their history around. Phenomenal players on this team.
See, this is how come Pio's so good. He has all of Campo Militar to himself. That's not a BGP drop point.
They need to give him...
That's a Pio drop point.
He needs everything. I mean, they got to make sure that he has the level 3 vest. He's got all the frags, all the smokes, everything he needs. Plenty of 7.6 for that SLR. No doubt about it that it is worth investing in a player of Pio's caliber. As you can see there, another big game for him. Code Marco, what a wonderful individual little performance there in that triple compound. I call that the Liquid compound because I used to see Team Liquid go there all the freaking time.
Well, at this point, I guess we're going to call it the BBL compound.
That's right. It's got a new owner.
It's deserved. I mean, look, 3 letters, 3 buildings. Perfect.
I like it.
Yeah. All right. Moving forward into this one, everything's looking like it's... I want to draw your attention to the leaderboard right now. So we got BGP. Look at how close this is. We've got a tie-up with TE as well as Wildcard. 1 point back behind that is going to be KDF. FaZe, we still can see QM right behind them. One good game now jumps them into this. So really, it's going to be about making sure you keep up a very high points per game. If any of those top 4 teams can secure a chicken dinner, that pretty much secures them the capabilities to skip survival.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, if you're top 4 and you get a win, you're basically done. That is, with only 3 games left, you could probably dust it off, wipe your hands, and walk away from the keyboard and probably be okay for the rest of the day. We're just going to see. I'm really curious about with this Northern Circle. Not a ton of teams in it to begin with, right? A lot because of the playing path. It was relatively fair. A lot of teams able to find most of their drop spots. However, some of the teams towards the top, Bagel Pa, probably going to wrap in from the north. I'm kind of curious to see where they're going to set up shop early to get their information, right? Where Pio's going to go to do his scouting. FaZe, I think, going to make the long wrap around the west, potentially coming in from like the La Cobreria area. Guangdong Freaks, how are they going to approach this? Back-to-back wins. Could they find a third? Could this be one of those historic moments?
Well, I have a question on how Tycon is going to handle this. He's got a lot of friends. He ventured his way over to Minas Generalis, and it is not Tycon's Generalis, so he's going to find himself in some trouble. It looks like Clip doesn't want to overstay this one. That's no surprise, right? Really, you don't really want to fight for something as whatever here. Just go ahead and get your vehicles, get out. It's right along the edge. Just leave it be.
I'm kind of curious if this is just their normal kind of timing on their rotation, or if they saw that there was loot already picked up off the ground and we're like, nah, we ain't messing with this. We're good. We've got what we need. We're gonna peace on out. Impala this time in play for GEX, so they're able to go to their natural drop spot here. I'm pretty curious about them as well. A phenomenal game there in that last one. Almost came through with the win. They've been so close so many times in this tournament. I mean, obviously they've got some wins, but they're a team that surprises me when I least expect it. Every time I start to count GEX out is right when they pick up the pace, when they start finding some points.
That's like their MO, isn't it? It's like they're this team that over a couple of games you kind of don't get a chance to really focus on because of all the other fighting, everything that's going on. Their rotations aren't like the most ridiculous things that you've ever seen. They're just tried, simple. They know exactly what to do. And oh no, over peakers. You rotate away, go to a new spot, and it's going to be 2 members of the Expendables. They need to defend this one up. Remember, Expendables are trying to hold on to their life. Do get 2 jobs onto this one. Try to spray in. 777 is going to go down as well as Smell. And there we go. It's going to be pretty much going over control to the over peakers. Now, Sonics, looks like they've got themselves an eye on the Petrichor Road.
It was Clib again with those 2 big knocks, and it's going to be 2 finishes on a TE. That's a devastating start. Absolutely horrible. Now, the Sonics are chicken winging. This is what I call it. If you look at it from the third person, yes, our observers are right ahead of me. They're going to, I call this chicken winging because you're keeping your sound completely silent doing this. If you move slow enough while crouched like that, but it looks like you've got your legs sticking out and, trying to do the chicken dance.
You just gotta slowly creep it. And you gotta be very, very careful using this line as well as slow as it's moving. So Tiggleton moving around the outside of this, going to try to draw some attention. There you go. It was bait into an H1 spray, long in trouble. And we are seeing these 2-2 splits heavily punished. That's what just happened to the Expendables, and that's going to be how we lose long.
It's a beautiful bait there from Tiggleton. Perfectly timed, perfectly set up, perfectly executed by the Sonic. Let's see if that's something that can give them a little bit of momentum. I'm concerned that they are potentially out of getting through to that top 4, barring essentially 3 wins in a row. Gonna have to repeat what the Kwangdong Freaks had done. That's a good shot from Shrimzy with the M16, getting the knock on the mill, but now Code Marco, superstar for BBL in the previous game, has his sights down on the Sonics.
I mean, if Sonics can somehow do this, I hope that you have them on your fantasy, right? Because that's going to be a massive come-up.
I have Shrimzy on mine.
I don't think it's mathematically quite too possible, but we'll have to see as we move forward. This is at least it's Sonics getting a kill at the start of it with a tactical movement, which is a breath of fresh air from the last 2 games.
Yeah, no, very true. I mean, they've been extremely quiet. I think the last 3 games yesterday were 0 points. Grenade in hand there for Buriram, and Noadra, he is not ready at all there for Tong's position. And, well, I mean, that was pretty easy for Tong. If your opponent only has a grenade, there's not much they can do to stop you.
Look, being Buriram is a double-edged sword, right? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That's fine.
It's Schrodinger's Buriram. Like they're just,
I mean,
they're
it really
either
is.
on or they're off.
Until you know where Buriram is, they can be right next to you.
Yeah. It's true. No, it's very, very true. I mean, you have to observe them to make sure you know for sure where they're at. All right, well, OP has taken control of this compound, of course, after eliminating 2 members of TE. Wildcard fanned out a bit ahead of this. Quite a wide split. As I look at the map, I do see that there is a little bit of a tropic kind of near wildcard territory as well. Smell here gets that first knock. You can see 777 with the sawed-off. Gets a great headshot, but then who else? Clib. I mean, one of the absolute best in the business, catches them off guard from behind and finds 2 crucial knocks for overpeakers.
That is just absolutely clean there. Wildcard, a lot of our action right now is hinging around the San Martin area. Hacienda does have, they have some company over there.
Is there something wrong with that truck that I'm missing here?
I think it was just a pretty
Is it hidden? Is that why they're showing it? It's hidden from Bagel Pass sightlines? That might be it. It's the escape valve. That's why they're showing it. It's just the escape valve here for Eladam. All right. Very nicely set up here by Wildcard. I mean, this is, again, a fundamental thing, but a thing that I see teams mess up way too often. Having this escape valve when you're a solo. Having an out, and this is good macro. This is a great example of fundamental good macro from the Wildcards. And again, why we've been talking about them all throughout these last couple of days here in Losers 2, that they are playing solidly, especially at the beginning of the game. So not really losing a lot of players.
It's not always the flashiest thing. It's just always the technically... they are always trying to make the technically right play. Well, I mean, he did go down, but they should be able to get the res.
Yeah.
I mean, not unless somebody really wants to commit into something that could be suicidal. There is Clib that could have some vision in what's going on. EIQ could have some vision.
Needs points. I could see a world where Entropic just YOLOs it here. I mean, if I'm them, I might.
They've got such a strong spot, though. They're pretty much centered in the circle.
But the points are bad. That's the only reason.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they are tied with CES. Any kill could be beneficial right now, as Non finding himself pretty close to Cerberus, and it's just... This is kind of the nature of the beast on what's going on right now. Not a lot of overt plays. Everybody wanting to try to see if they can make this Miramar work for him. Nan's going to go ahead and try to get some more out of this, but he's in the open, spraying up against a hillside, and that's just never.
Struggles continue for New Happy, our defending PGC champions, our defending PCS 7 champions, our defending PCL champions. It has been a really rough go of it for them as of late. Yeah, they made it into the winner's bracket, came up short of qualifying directly through to the grand finals, weren't one of those top 8 teams. And they look lost. They look like their confidence has been shaken, if I'm being brutally honest. It doesn't seem like they're able to pull the trigger on the fights with that speed and momentum that I'm used to seeing. Instead, it's a lot of kind of patience and not covering each other maybe as effectively as they normally do. Typically where New Happy really does their damage is when their fighting is for. Their team fighting is normally impeccable.
New Happy is the new sad right now, is the easiest way to look at it. Is San Martin is going to continue to be the focus. We're going to have to see QM, FaZe, KDF regroup. Petrichor Road's already inside the circle, rotating through. Sonics are going to have to regroup, but this is an area that can support everybody, really. It's San Martin is a very, very popular spot. Whenever we look at the hillsides, Hacienda, I mean, we just saw water treatment and what was going on over there. That's still inside the circle, so there's a lot to look at as long as this circle doesn't go east.
Yeah, most likely it's going to end north of Hacienda. Bagel Paws pulled up into wild card. Waikakamukau trying to hold the line here with Nikos. Greg shot hot to trot here, getting in the buggy, coming right into the garage. So now you've got 3 for the side of Wildcard. This is a huge fight matchup. 2 top 3 teams in this lobby right now, potentially duking it out.
And this is a carryover from what we saw a second ago with Adam getting knocked after having to make his rotation away. This has led into a domino effect. Now, BGP is like, this could be too hot. Let's go ahead and play the opposite side of the hill. They're going to rotate by. That's going to be Tyloo that's taking shots at them right now. And they should be able to clear that for the time being. Over Peakers, though, looks like they could be the new target. And I think that they're already lined up taking the shots in. This is starting to get to be a very bad real estate location if you're a BGP fan, as they are just trying to navigate through. There's not a lot of dips. And while all this is going on, Freaks are going to be rolling in very, very close to the spot.
Yeah, this is about the only dip that's left. Taming has been knocked for Bagel Pot, and he is done. Vard going to find that point. Pio did get to, well, I'm not going to call it safety, but he got to somewhere where he can maybe at least pull off a heal. The Kwangdong Freaks had moved into this position. This compound was open, by the way, when Bagel Pa first ran into Wildcard's location. Didn't like it, figured, well, if we're going to fight for something, might as well try to go more center. A good grenade from Clib has the knock onto Sungjang. He's getting clipped by Entropic there as well, who's also in a fight with BBL, and they're doing some serious damage.
And this is actually pretty big. With what we can see, Luca Rux can't really pay that much attention to what's going on. He is providing some oversight. DG90 is going to go down. So this is a split focus that's going to be coming out, and BGP is eliminated. And now, top 4 looking like there's an opportunity.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, though, for them to get knocked out at this point. I mean, if they can just have 2 relatively okay games on Erangel, they should be good to go. But, yeah, not ideal to be the first team out as the top team. Or not the first team out, the second team out. But it's still just a 0-point game for them. And they had a tough rotation to make. They know that the circle's most likely going to drip up to the north into this area, north of Hacienda del Patron because of the land ratio. Again, doesn't have to, but that's the most likely situation. So then you're looking for one of those compounds that's available, or at least that you can fight for. I think in the long run, I would have rather seen them fight Wildcard for that spot.
Yeah, and whenever the regroup came up from Wildcard, that's what opened up the building that we then saw them have to deal with the PO reposition into. So it was just kind of a lot of factors that kind of brewed together to make their life a lot harder. But looking out, it looks like we are going to see QM get control over the north and FaZe, and those are 2 teams that we definitely want to keep an eye on as they are in the chase for 4.
Yeah, FaZe is nearing question mark by the water treatment there. Dante pulled up. Sonics just going to be looking at, this is going to go north, so this is the expected rotation, the expected shift that most teams are going to be looking at. And Shrimsy out on the edge of San Martin, gathering a little bit of information on what's going on there. Curious to see what the Sonics are going to be able to find. I mean, there's some stuff on the edges of Hacienda that are potentially usable here, or they might be going for a wide wrap. Looks like they're going to try to swing all the way around, potentially to the northeast side, maybe towards FaZe, somewhere in that direction. We'll see. CES, and right next to Code Marco, I don't know if he's, well, now he definitely knows. They just got in the vehicle, and CES isn't looking to fight this really at all. Let's take a look at the replay here. Entropic from the Transformers, just looking down on the BBL, and BBL's just kind of scurrying around. Thunderloss just out in the open. Code Marco had been knocked as well by Tycon from CES, but somehow they got the res, and Code Marco's still kicking.
All right, rotation's about to suck. That's the only way we can really say what's going to be going on here. As Cerberus about to run into the thick of it. He's going to pick up one of them, and now it should be a lot of the overpeakers capable of just continuing the reign of harassment. They might pull off into a different direction. That could send them into Burram's direction. So as long as they stop here, they should be good for now. Continued rotations are going to be Sonics taking shots at range. New Happy have to move as well, but it looks like most of our teams have managed to find somewhere to go.
Yeah, CES, I think, got 2 into that garage, and that's about all they're going to be able to find for now, and they're probably just going to hunker down, and that one does get crashed from time to time, so you got to be pretty prepared on that.
I don't know where they're going to go. This is
I think they're going to maybe end up fighting FaZe, or maybe just wrap into the mountains by the water treatment. That's about all I see.
That's about all you can really do. Maybe go for the high ground. That's just going to be to that northeast of water treatment, so you can see that the firing line from FaZe could have vision on this for quite a while, so while Sonics did manage to pick themselves up something to start this game, it's going to be precarious moving forward, as I think that they're going to stop right on the edge. And yep, going to be a spot that FaZe can't quite see yet. No, well, I say that. They scouted it out, and now the vehicles are starting to roll through, and FaZe seems to be the target, catching some air. It's going to be slow and steady. Remember, Gustav is off in the horizon. You can see him on that hill up there, so numbers advantage close right now is actually equalized because Shrimzy's back behind this one, but 8Z, man, he quickly picks this one up.
Yeah, well, the Sonics set up a trap for Petrichor Road earlier, and now FaZe springs one of their own on top of them. Tiggleton has been knocked as well. That's 2 members of the Sonics, make it 3. Mime out. It is all onto Shrimzy, and no sir, Fex is going to shut him right down.
FaZe appreciates those kill point delivered right into their doorstep, so feeling much better up there, and now with BGP down, picking up 4 kills off of Sonics, FaZe's life is starting to look a lot better.
Yeah, and I think there's no way that the Sonics can really theoretically gain enough points. I mean, it would take the most unlikely back-to-back games we've ever seen in PUBG Esports. Shifts over to this compound. Look, this is a bit of deja vu. We saw this, with TE's win yesterday.
Before?
Yeah, we've been here before.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, sorry. So wildcard, great position coming up. I also want to point out EIQ is going to have themselves a spot. Rotation is going to be coming out from Tyloo right in front of FaZe. As we're looking into this, it's also going to be GX that's going to have to make a move. Expendables, New Happy, and I just love the patience coming out from 8Z. They're just look at the way the positioning. FaZe knew that somebody was going to wrap up there to the north and just had it set and waiting.
Yeah, I mean, Fex's position there, he's able to stay hidden from the likely approach routes of any team, no matter who it is. And he's able to spring into action, catch them right as they crash into that fence line. Tycon, along with Isaki, hitting some good shots onto SSR. He connects, he steals it from Buriram. Now, GEX scrambling for any kind of position. Like I said, somebody might have to crash it. Ooh, they actually drive away from it. I thought they might have to go for that garage, but they're going to keep trying to go deeper, and now, oh boy.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
All right, flipped up right in front of Overpeakers, and that's just going to be a stylish way to go out.
Yeah, they're really the only option there for GEX was to try to turn into Cerberus and fight it for that garage, but they opted to look for a dip maybe. There is that one that we saw Bagel Pa try to take earlier, but as you saw with Bagel Pa, it is a dangerous dip to take, and GEX out early, no points, no kills. Code Marco still clinging on, going to let New Happy kind of take up space in front of him as he just heals up, gets ready for his next movement. New Happy seems to be gearing up for some kind of hit or crash potentially.
Where are we going, FaZe? It looks like they're going to send it pretty close to water treatment. Tongs picks up Gustav. Commitment's going to come out. FaZe is going to crash into the wall. They do have some cover outside of this one and trying to abuse it to the best of their capabilities. Just with one down, FaZe trying to move in, but X is going to get knocked. Tyloo doing a great job on defending up, and FaZe is going to go down. It's going to be question mark that puts in a lot of the work.
Yeah, it's a doozy who gets a bunch of those kills from long range. I mean, FaZe, I thought at a moment there, those mollies were starting to hit where they could break through Tyloo, but question mark going to play spoiler. Here goes New Happy. They opted to just take the ridge line right on the edge of the circle. Overpeakers as well, right underneath them. Ming Ming going to have to land some big grenades here. He has a few more in the bag, potentially. That one just shy of Mexi. As Mexi trying to push space, trying to get in grenade range of his own. Oh my god, this one could be really good.
Tossed in. It's going to land too close to the vehicles. They're on the other side of it. Smoke's not going to give Mexi the information that he needs. So with the smoke wall down, problems are going to continue to mount. We also do have TE that's trying to make a move, and they're being shut out by Buriram, about to be CES as well. So we'll have to see how our number 2 team manages to fare through. This one is Hisaki and Tycon don't manage to get the drop on Duck Juice, and he's got himself a little hidey hole.
Yeah, he's got just enough space there, crammed in between the dumpster and the fence, and Tycon Looking to see if maybe he can dumpster his fellow Vietnam player. And Ming Ming gonna take Code Barco down. Now New Happy can really focus on this Overpeaker's fight. Ming Ming taking quite a bit of damage onto the jump there. Jeems actually gets a knock on the HS as well, so Jeems landed some phenomenal shots with that Mini 14.
This is his life now. He is all about that dumpster. He's one with the dumpster. But it's going to be Overpeakers trying to make more utility work as New Happy trying to survive. This is not inside the circle. This is just to get circle control so that way they can move forward. Another member is going to go down in Ming Ming, and New Happy, they're not even managing to really set up a fight just yet, as it is going to be Overpeakers pushing this in strength. Multiple members now down, and New Happy is just only got one left, and it feels like it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, playing scared there. Buriram loses 2 on the entry. Isaki and Taikon. Taikon gonna finish off Buriram. So doing some really phenomenal work on the defense here is Cerberus.
Duck Juice just back there. Good job, CES. Appreciate it. Good job.
Thanks, guys. Good.
I'm your biggest fan right now.
Yeah, cheering from the stands there. Yeah, no doubt.
Not even creeping out, letting them live their life. Wild card. Holding down the pretty much center position. We still have QM that after this replay is going to have to make a rotation, and they could have some issues they have to deal with. And you can see that lineup, while the wall was good against the push into Tyloo, Doozy's life is also pretty good off of that angle.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those games where you have to rake in as many points on the edge as you can. Hisaki, I think, is... No, he hasn't really figured out where Duck Juice is just yet. Maybe this one? Polo.
Marco up. Yep, there it is. Run! That's the walls. See, and now step around, tries to go for it, but finally Cerberus gets it in the end.
Yeah, I mean, 7 kills here for Cerberus.
Made it into placement points, though.
Yeah, that's a really good point. This is turning into a pretty good recovery effort. But again, you're going to try to clean up everything you can on this edge. Overpeakers is like, we know you're 2. We're coming for this. Let's see if this defense can hold on.
Yeah, this is Cerberus. You've been doing a good job of holding up for now, but there is a lot of Overpeakers around, and this is not necessarily the easiest building to defend. End is actually going to provide some assistance and get the down onto Cliff. Bart still got some vision on. You can see the question mark still trying to make a move into the north of it, but it's going to be right as soon as Entropic is making their move as well. Hobbit's trying to make a play around, but it's going to be a doozy also working this angle. So Lucaruk's now playing the top of this one's got to find himself careful. QM, both of these teams just taking a ton of damage as it is going to be Entropic that goes down, but there is a massive cost for QM.
Yeah, Tong there had just enough of an angle to at least do a little bit of damage. Cerberus did get wiped out by the Overpeakers. Overpeakers going to lose 1 for their efforts. Tyloo 4 up on the edge of the water treatment hill across the road, just seeing if QM is going to push onto that side. Now there is, remember we saw yesterday, there are some rocks and other things on the north side of this circle.
Everybody's just crawling along with the zone, trying to use the car for cover. I don't know if it's going to work for you guys, but yeah, now QM.
It's not.
Yeah. Okay, so remember how last time I said the fact that we were in a ranked match because we had 25 left at Circle 7?
Yeah, it's just ranked games.
Now we've got 17 alive at Circle 6, so I guess we've just gone full on public match now, right?
That's fine. I mean, you know, that's where most of us live and thrive. So why not? Why the players have to play some, you know, some spicy games from time to time.
I'm not making any comments about play styles, guys. Calm down. I already know the people. Somebody's out there getting butthurt about it and just talking about the amount. Usually we still have, like, I don't know, 50 people alive at this stage. So
yeah, in Phase 6. No.
Being a little bit more wild this time. So looking through, we still have the lineup is going to be Tyloo down that cliff facing. We have Overpeakers that we just saw take over that compound. Freaks have just moved into the circle itself and are trying to make sure that they keep an eye on how Overpeakers is going to move in. And the 2 members of QM are still playing in the north, but they really can't play this hillside due to how Tyloo is defended.
I just want to point out that right now, the Kwangdong Freaks are in the top spot. They are first place. They have come from somewhere in the middle to all the way up to the top in 3 games. An absolutely insane performance. A little bit of another replay here. You know, Entropic, not much they can do. They have to try to come down the hill, and they're getting ripped apart in the vehicles.
Uh-oh, nope. We can see the question mark's going to try to make a different strategy this time and going to run right down into Tyloo, so that's going to eliminate them. Now we've got our top 4 is, Freaks realize the fact that there's an opportunity to be had, and they're pushing right into Overpeaker's position.
Yeah, they got to make a move, and so it's going to have to take a fight here on the edges. Tyloo still holding firm. Sia able to seat swap. Ooh, a good grenade, though, from Akkad. Gets a big knock here. CC out on the edge, though, ready with a barrel of his own to get the knock onto Hikari. Molly out, up, and over.
Wildcard's moving out of their compound, down the cliff, facing right back behind Tyloo. Now they have an angle onto Freaks as well as Tyloo, and they're raining in some damage onto this as well. This could be an in-game fight this fast.
That's ambitious from Wildcard. I mean, that's an instant win compound if they can lock it down, but it doesn't matter. They know everybody's on the other side. They need these points. Every point you can get here to guarantee that top 4 is so crucial.
Freaks and Wildcard now presently tied, and this is a battle for points and really morale between the two of them. They're wanting to step up in that first place position. GM's still alive on the outside of this one, trying to cling to life, but he has Tyloo and the Freaks right up in front of him. Greg shot, and you can see the rest of Wildcard just trying to assert dominance in this. They've lost some of their vision in what was going on with the Freaks.
Yeah, this is really messy right now. As the Freaks trying to keep James at bay. They know he's down there. The solo is going to get a knock with the M4 onto Hikari, doing some serious damage. 11 kills in this game for Overpeaker.
This is a big game for them. They are trying to make their climb up, and he is trying to get as much as he can, but he's finally going to go down. Now it's all on the Freaks trying to line up against Tyloo. Nade's going to pop up right on top of him. Good job coming out from Sia. But the more this fight goes on, the better it's going to be for Wildcard.
The back and forth here, just incredible between Tyloo and Kwangdong Freaks. We saw the AWM from CC doing some damage. Cobb with a beautiful spray. Zhao Yang going to get a great one onto Lash K. Now Hikari back on his feet, trying to survive, but that Molly catches him. He lets go with the grenade. He is going to get finished off. Is his grenade going to be able to catch anything? It does. It gets the knock on Sia.
Tyloo on a climb of their own, picking up a ton of kills. Tongs now finding himself in a very rough spot as it's going to be Waikakamukau moves down, and Wildcard picks up a very clean victory for themselves. Not a lot of kills, but I mean, they at least moved out of the compound to get some kills at the end, right?
Oh, yeah. No. I mean, that was the right move. I was a little bit worried for a moment there where I was like, is that going to bite him in the back? You know, like maybe if one of those teams had won that fight on the edge cleanly, like maybe it's a 4v4. Doesn't matter. They made the right play. They got the points. And you know what? At the end of the day, that should be what they need to do.
I like the strategy. They didn't get the kills in it, but they did force the firefight. Moving to that hillside, Tyloo could no longer retreat. Freaks could not retreat. Now you just had to commit into the Overpeakers fight. The three of them just had to scrap, maybe 5-10 meters away from each other. That was just a triangle of death that was going on there. And so not necessarily picking up the kill points, but going to go ahead and pick up the chicken dinner points off of just a smart play.
It was risky, but